And welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. My name is Chris, bringing it to you here from Westlake Village, California. It is bright. It is beautiful. It is Thursday. It is not Turnaround Thursday, or is it? We're going to be talking about Bitcoin, price action targets, some of the underlying market dynamics. For the first time in 15 months, yes, the Fed did a pause. What does that mean for the market? We'll go over some of those numbers, check out some NASDAQ gold, and maybe even some Pepe coin. That's it. So let's get into what I wanted to discuss. First off, a lot of volatility surrounding the event yesterday. Notice the dollar absolutely getting wrecked here to the downside, which should have benefited risk assets. Well, the stock market did have quite a bit of rally, and it's doing the same today. Nice inverse correlation there for Mr. NASDAQ and the dollar. However, Bitcoin has not been able to catch up. Perhaps it was the technicals that told us to get out earlier. Let's take a look. What else did I wanted to talk about today? Going around the Twitterverse, what do we have here? Not the Tether news, a slight Tether depeg. I don't know what that's all about. Honestly, I think probably another one of those USDC fake outs where essentially what I'd be looking to do with this one for a short-term trade, USDT already bouncing way back up. That's where I actually was looking to go long from this area right here, because I imagine we're going to pop back in this range where all stable coins end up going after a nice little drawdown. Yep, definitely was the bouncy area right here, and stop loss right here, and trading back up to the range highs. What else should we check in on? Tether dominance, and I guess I did want to comment on the Fed dot plot yesterday, and what else here? BlackRock starting to buy some Bitcoin, largest asset management company in the world, over $8 trillion in assets, now investing largely into Bitcoin. Says Travis, as far as that guy can be thrown, right? Last year they made a large investment in crypto, but backed off some after the SEC went after some crypto companies. Now they're putting a lot at stake in Bitcoin. What do we know? Great comment, sir. Larry Fink. Well, the SEC is busy suing Binance and Coinbase. BlackRock and the biggest banks in the U.S. are silently buying record amounts of Bitcoin. Yes, I do like this guy, Travis. Thumbs up with the American flag there. All right. Shout out to Mr. Travis. And yes, while we're doing the news stuff, get this out of the way. Open interest, 8.3 billion. Is that correct? Did I refresh my screen here? Fear and greed index. Where is she coming in at today? Oh, we're still in the neutral zone, but heading towards the fearful zone. And open interest is at 8.3 billion. And taking a look at the funding rates here, which are lagging, but essentially when the funding rates get negative, what you would expect at 0.01%, at 0.01% funding rate negative, that's when, apparently this doesn't want to load, that's when you start to look for a bottom in a macro sense. So hopefully that makes some sense. Right now you are paying to go long, and this thing in the same way, 0.01%. Is that right? Are we way up there? Let's check the all-time out. No, we're looking for 0.1%. So way up here in this area. That's not. Yeah. So as you can see, tops got put in at 0.1%, but that can go on for some time. Vice versa, the major bottom got put in at 0.1% when it was costing you to go short. I thought I had something on the dot plot here, but I guess not. Crypto bubbles here, CRV, and that is the rumor today. CRV, Curve token, which has a pool of tokens. All these Tether tokens went over into the Curve pool. Somebody suspecting a big swap out of the Tether into perhaps Bitcoin or other, maybe Ethereum, right? But I imagine it's a bit of FUD, and Tether is pretty much the, I hate to say it, the cartel of stable coins, and they tend to know what's going up here. But Bitcoin on the shorter term time frame, 15-minute, do we have a setup? Potentially not really. We'd want to see volatility lower for a greater play to move down. That would be, a decent sell signal there. Vice versa. It looks like we are getting a little pop up here on the hourly time frame. Playing out, let's see, 1-2 drives. Shot to the 21 is fair game right now at 25,150. Remember, as these moving averages are coming down, displayed like this, all the lower periods below the higher periods, again, that's the purple 200, the green 55, the yellow 21, and the 9 exponential moving average. Pressure is on to the downside in that time frame, and I believe in all time frames. Let's see. No, not all time frames, not on a daily, but we do have the silver cross present there. Just looking at this from a daily perspective, could we be in a bounce territory? Perhaps yes. Perhaps yes. What are the points for the bulls and what are the points for the bears? Let's check it out here. I'm not sure exactly all that I wanted to bring up, as I'm pretty satisfied with the downside move thus far. Okay, let's get into what I wanted to talk about for the Fed meeting and a Dixie analysis. That's what I wanted to bring up. Dixie absolutely getting slaughtered here, and NASDAQ is the beneficiary. I heard Microsoft is the big pump today. And again, touching on gold really quick, we called this target here as the dollar comes down. You expect a gold to go up. In fact, I am expecting gold to tag at least 1988 again, perhaps 2000 one more time, and then judge it from there. As long as we are below this box now, I'll get rid of this one. As long as we are below this box, it's pressure onto the downside. We could have one more leg higher. And I wanted to remind everybody, the long-term narrative for this month, and we'll see if it holds true, if it does play out. What that narrative is that it's a low liquidity month. Low liquidity. Not enough dollars in the system because the Fed is selling all those U.S. Treasury bonds. Yeah, they'll get rehypothecated and brought back into the market at some point. But we certainly have not seen Jerome Powell pivot. In my opinion, this was just a pause. It was a hawkish pause. So first time in 15 months, we stopped raising rates. And what happened to Dixie? Well, Dixie actually got shot down. And we said we'd remain bullish on Dixie as long as we put in a higher low somewhere in this area. Again, this was the, I guess, depending upon, we'll use the ultimate low. Yeah, that's a little fair. Versus this low. So on a bearish retracement, you want to see those higher lows come right in here between the 0.5 and the 618. Test the breakout area one last time. That's the last of the Mohicans. We start closing back below there. Well, then on the weekly, I do suspect that the hidden bearish divergence, we're talking about a 2-drive variety. 1-2 gets you a shot. Could you call it 3? Perhaps if this is the last local high, 1-2 back, to the 618. Not necessarily the bottom side of the range, but that would be my target if the dollar is going to pick itself up and the low liquidity narrative to play out. If the dollar starts to break this critical zone here at call it 101, then that is, and that'll be the first warning signal, is a daily closure back below there, and the bulls can get their hopes on again, because I do imagine Bitcoin will pick itself up from its bootstraps and start falling in line with the rest of the risk assets out there. Higher lows, as long as we're above essentially 19, this last wick high here at 19,379. I'm going to look at that as overall macro bullish. But again, Jerome Powell said, and the dot plot said is most of the Fed members expect 5.6% terminal rate by the end of the year. Could you imagine interest rates going up to 5.6%? So there's going to be 2 more rate hikes. They expect GDP to slow to 1% in 2023 and at 1.1%. So we're only expected to grow 1.1% in 2024. How are we going to pay for all that debt? How are we going to pay for this, crazy budget, whatever they're spending? I mean, how in the world are they going to pay for the debt? If GDP is only growing at 1.1%, but our debt's growing at 130%, how do you pay your mortgage? I don't know. They're expecting unemployment to go up 4.1% and this year to 4.1% this year and 4.5%. More data showing that what the Fed is doing is working. The jobless claims came out today, all higher than expected. Higher than expected. That's what Powell wants. A tightening job market, unemployment to go up and bring some of the retail sales came out higher than expected. Okay, but overall, I think the news was bearish for the dollar, and that's why we got a big push down. Although Bitcoin is not riding it down with it. It is certainly not. And so what could potentially be, at some point it's going to pop up like a volleyball, right? And nobody knows where the exact low is going to be. But what else do we have on our side to give us a little bit of a bias here on price action? What do we have here? I'm going to get rid of these lines here. Maybe pull up another chart. Pulling up another chart on the 3-day time frame. We've been talking about the volatility increase on the 3-day time frame. Very likely gets the next move. 30% in either direction. That's probably is it fair to say after volatility's been, absolutely on the floor for going on 2 months here? Could we get an explosive move? The 5-day also down there, and CME's really, really down there. 5-day will remain with pressure to the downside below 28,990, so big pivot there. Could we go for more in the light of the dollar going down and the stock market going up? And yeah, I think we're probably due for a bounce sooner than not. And then, then we play out probably a little bit more down. I'm again, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. So calling it a hawkish pause, dot plot, supposedly matters. And, to be fair, Powell has stuck to the schedule. So they say it's all, it's all depending upon the data coming out, whether they're going to raise rates more. But could you imagine a terminal rate at 5.6%? It's going to put more pressures on the banking system, more pressures on, the credit system. And hey, don't worry, AI is here to save the day. So we will see if NASDAQ goes ahead and hits that target we've been talking about. The 786 on a bullish retracement. Might get a pullback first, maybe fill that gap down there, and then party back onto the upside, because it's the stock market that never goes down. We covered gold. Is Tesla getting a red day? I don't imagine so. Good old Elon out there taking some charges. Following up on that Tesla target from yesterday. Tesla, did we hit our upside target? Yes, we did. Yes, we did. So good enough is good enough. What did we talk about? Oh, look at that. Well, we didn't hit the target exactly. A break above, tap the target, break back below. Hey, fill the gap back down here at the 21. Going to have no drives. Well, you're going to have some drives of bearish divergence confirmed, I would say, with a closure anywhere here or lower at 247. So currently on the bounce here, maybe hits the target today and completely fills that gap coming back here. But yeah, we'll have many drives of hidden bearish divergence coming back from this pivot right here if we cannot take this one out. Tesla could play out a nice downside move, all the way down to this level at 213. Confirming this as a top, probably with a closure below the 21 at 234. I think I'm going to leave it off there on Tesla. Checking in on Coinbase, filled the gap, rejected. We did call that one out. There was this gap to get filled down here, and currently bouncing it off of there. If we lose this box, just curious, want to see where the Gaussian channel is. Anyways, I'm not here to trade stocks here. I'm sure you're more interested in all the currencies, which foreign currencies are popping up. Interested to see where CNY is. Hit the downside target to the T, the 1618, and yeah, I'd say downtrend continues until it ends, right? Until it ends. Volatility still expanding, so more downside in the CNY. The Japanese yen, same thing, continuation of the downside, I would suspect. So that is bearish for, bullish for the dollar. That is bullish for the dollar. That is some bull for the dollar. All right. What else did I want to bring up? The inflation numbers. I mean, I think that's it. I've gone on for a bit too long today. I think I'm running out of steam here on this one, guys. So it's probably good, very good time to end things here. Lastly, I guess I will bring up Ethereum. What had we been saying about Mr. Ethereum? And if you've been following our channel for some time, we talked about, we had a, okay, perfect example of some TA statistics. How can we trade this one, guys? So we have this inverted head and shoulders, double left, call it a double, whatever. Inverted head and shoulders, the measure move breakout target would have been, wow, this is going to be interesting. That's drawn in a little deep, I think. Yeah, 2,600. So let's shorten this up just a tad, because we are using some of the wicks here. Let's get a good technical target. There we go. I guess you could go from the spike high to the neckline. Okay, and we said, hey, we would remain bullish on Ethereum. Looking for a move. We were talking about 2,400. This says 26. Close enough is close enough in this case. And we talked about this pivot at 1750, right? We were talking about it for a long time. It was holding the line. We broke it right here. Okay, where's the next target on ETH? Perhaps a technical target way down. 1340, right below the prior wick. So essentially what happens is if you have a inverted head and shoulders, breaks to the upside. If you break back down and you break below the left shoulder, which, you know, to be fair, could have been all the way down here. We're well below there. That would give you kind of the measure move target. We're taking it from 1750. I've said if we lose the 1750 area, likely Ethereum comes down and tests this area somewhere around $1,400-1,500. That would be, my base case is we pick it up off this trend line, which more touches, more confluence. If you use the wicks, though, that gets a little bit more extended over there. All right, that's it for Ethereum. I think I'm going to let the day go. Have a blessed and highly favored day. We'll check in tomorrow with you with some more updates. Take care.